Members of Congress received a classified intelligence briefing today about the drone swarms that have appeared for weeks now over a growing number of states. And then late this afternoon, the Department of Defense issued yet another statement about the mystery drones, assuring the public that it is taking the issue very seriously.
In Nevada and elsewhere, millions of eyes are fixed on the skies to try and catch objects that have appeared in restricted airspace and buzz critical infrastructure. George Knapp is here with an overview.
At this moment, 1 year ago, there was another drone swarm that was underway. For a period of 2 weeks, dozens of unidentified objects swarmed Langley Air Force Base in Virginia. And even though that base has some of the most sophisticated technology in the world, it could not track, identify, or deter the so-called drones from entering restricted airspace. The same appears to still be true for our military, which has frequently blurred the line between identifiable drones and objects that are truly unknown.
Right, Omaha, 60 kid, Rocco Peralta pass ability to launch Hilo ASAP.
In July 2019, more than 100 unknown objects buzzed and swarmed around 10 U.S. Navy warships 100 miles off the Pacific coast. The objects were documented on camera, on radar, and on thermal sensors. Splash. In multiple shapes and sizes, including huge wingless orbs with no detectable propulsion system. Just drones, no biggie, the Pentagon suggested. A few years earlier, when Navy pilots on the East Coast encountered unusual objects on a daily basis in their training ranges, the debunkers called them drones or balloons or both, certainly not UFOs. 4 years ago this month, dozens of unknown drones appeared nightly for weeks in the heartland.
The sky is lit up with Christmas lights, basically. There's lights and things flying all over.
Sheriff's departments across the border area of 3 states have been flooded with similar reports since mid-December.
The U.S. military never learned who or what was behind it, as if it was just one of life's little mysteries. In the past few years, the all-purpose term drones has replaced swamp gas and weather balloons as the military's go-to explanation for unknown objects.
This seems insane to me, that people would let that happen without impunity, penetrating our air defenses, our private airspace, just like that, without any repercussion. If this is some kind of foreign power trying to gather information, intelligence, or surveillance over our military bases or nuclear installations, that could be very, very scary.
In what might be the most ironic of the current sightings, intrusions by so-called drones caused air traffic at Wright-Patterson Air Base to shut down this weekend. Wright-Pat is where the wreckage from the 1947 Roswell crash was reportedly stored. Nice touch, drone people.
We have no evidence at this time that the reported drone sightings pose a national security or a public safety threat, or have a foreign nexus.
An assortment of government officials have tried to quell public concerns in recent weeks, but the public isn't buying it, and the mystery drones didn't get the memo either. Social media platforms are jam-packed with cell phone videos of assorted lights and odd objects seen nightly in the skies over New Jersey and many other states, including Florida, Texas, California, and Oregon. Most are likely the lights of airplanes, but some do resemble standard drones, albeit a few the size of an SUV. They do not perform like known drones. New Jersey officials have demanded briefings and say they were told the drones are not a threat, are not being flown by the U.S. government, are not being flown by foreign adversaries, and by the way, the government is unable to track them, doesn't know where they originate.
I don't know about you, but I don't believe that at all. I truly believe the government know already what it is, where they're coming from, and what they want. But they just don't want to tell us because they don't want to scare us. The matter is probably very, very serious.
Or where they go each morning.
It was the biggest amateur hour presentation I've ever seen about anything, okay? It was ridiculous. There were no answers. Every question that was asked by a member of the state legislature, great questions, no answers, no resolution. They don't know where the drones are coming from. They don't know who's doing it. They don't know why they're doing it, but they say there's no credible threat. It was annoying to be there.
The president-elect is among those who doubt what the public is being told.
They know where it came from and where it went. And for some reason, they don't want to comment.
That is
not an airplane.
In the absence of credible information, rumors have swirled. Maybe they're from Russia or China or an Iranian mothership parked offshore, or maybe it's a secret operation by the feds to quietly track down a dirty bomb or nuclear materials smuggled into the country by terrorists. Officials have tried to quash such rumors, but their credibility has been impaired. Just days ago, the public was told there were 0 verified drone intrusions into restricted airspace over military bases. Then, in a statement just days later from multiple agencies, including the FBI and the military, it was admitted there have been intrusions by unknown drones over 2 New Jersey military sites, also confirmed drone intrusions over a nuclear power plant. Prior to the New Jersey outbreak, mystery drones repeatedly flew into the...
This is insane to me that you would let drones like that fly over a nuclear power plant, over military bases, and spy on the military installation, spy on the military forces, and gather that information without any kind of repercussion, without any kind of impunity for weeks on end. Insane.
Highly restricted airspace over 3 critical air bases in the UK. So what gives?
It's a serious deal, man. We gotta, I think it's
keep in mind that's not just in the United States. There are drones flying all over US military bases, all over Europe as well, as we speak, in England, in Germany.
It's a test. Somebody's testing us, and we're failing that test.
The Pentagon emphasized today that it still thinks many or most of these drones are hobbyist or corporate drones, but that's not very reassuring since the military and police seem unable to track them back to whoever is flying them. 20 years ago, when the Navy pilots encountered the famous Tic Tac object, military sensors allegedly could track a golf ball 100 miles away. Now we can't follow drones that are reportedly the size of automobiles. You know, the hearing today was classified, but it's not a big deal, not a threat. Don't worry about it.
Not getting a lot of answers. Couldn't some of them be spy drones essentially sent by our adversaries or enemies?
Absolutely, there could. And, last week, of course, the Pentagon said, no, they're not. They're absolutely ruled that out. But, of course, now they're saying, well, maybe they are. And I think that if that was the case, if China is flying drones all over the country, over military bases, nuclear sites, that's pretty scary because we're not able to track them. We can't or won't bring them down. That sends a really strange signal to our adversaries if that's the case.
That's a whole different story.
Watching this unfold is great fun. All these officials and cops and small town guys who are asking questions about what's flying around in the sky, and they're getting the same kind of runaround that those of us from you.
Yeah, I think China, Iran, North Korea, Russia, they are probably laughing out loud, looking up at how ridiculous this is. All these drones flying without impunity, and we cannot do nothing about it. We don't know where they come from, where they are flying, and why. This is insane. This is completely absurd. Saw the drone again this morning in Connecticut, but what was strange, it was 6 a.m. on my way to where a drone were heading east towards the Atlantic Ocean, so maybe they head back at the end of shift. Yeah, why does Congress need a classified intelligence briefing? There's nothing unusual going on. The government words and action are contradictory. Based on the action of the authority, I believe they are fully aware of what's happening. Yeah, they probably know exactly what is happening, but don't want to tell anybody to not cause any panic. This is classified information. We are no longer a serious country. Crazy. This story is all over the news. Best report in month on the subject. Props to George. Yeah, I agree. This was a great report. It was clearly detailed. It was put a lot of thought into it, a lot of interesting information and a lot of updates. Let me know what you think about this one. I hope you enjoyed this video with me today, guys. Thanks for watching. As always, click right there to watch the next video and I will see you there. Bye bye.